welcome to the Vita Cast, episode 87. I am your host, Tyler Olthoff, and with me as usual, it's Kyle Wakeling. How's it going, Kyle?
It goes, Tyler, it goes.
Well,
Feel like I'm busy all the time lately, so...
Oh, yeah? Go on.
Yeah, it's going fast. Everything's going fast.
I wish the week was going fast for me. It's only Tuesday, and my work schedule changed, so now I have to work Fridays full-time.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep, so it's going to feel like I don't have any more weekends because it's just, I don't know. That's a sore subject. Anyways, other than that, it's going pretty good. Been only really playing one game to jump into, what we've been playing. I guess I'll start off. But one game, and that would be Lost Dimensions, because I've been loving it. And it kind of, I think I was mentioning it last week, where it gives that like Danganronpa feel. And if I didn't, I am now mentioning that it gives that Danganronpa feel. With the whole, like, it's almost like a class trial where whenever you want to advance to the next floor, you have to figure out who the traitor is and kill them, basically. And you do that by voting and also getting support from your teammates to try to make it, to where you kill the right person. So
they should have it where you could just kill off anybody, and when you get to the end, they're like, "Oh, you accidentally killed the fucking good people," or something
Kyle,
like that. I think that would be funny.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh,
if you don't kill the right person, I'm pretty sure it comes back to haunt you, like during because the game is very, generic. Like, you've got a boss to kill at the very end of the game. You know who the bad guy is, and your mission is to get to him. And I believe if you don't kill the correct person at the end, like the boss fight, I have a feeling like those traitors would then be like, "Hey, guess what? You messed up, and I'm gonna help the boss. So have fun."
watch Tyler get like stomped by an army full of people he accidentally killed.
Well, I've figured out the first two traitors. The first traitor is a gimme, and then the game randomizes who the next traitor is going to be. So I was able to deduce that, and it made me pissed off because I actually enjoyed this character. And I was like, yay, I like this character. I hope you're not the traitor. Guess what? That person was. So, yep.
Didn't you have that problem with Danganronpa as well?
Yeah,
where you started and then your favorite character, they died right away? I was like, oh.
Yep, it's just how it works for me, I guess. But yep, that person died, and then I just now figured out who the next traitor is, and I haven't killed them yet. I'm getting to the point where I will have to, so I'm glad I figured it out soon, so then I can get everyone on my side early on and get them out of there. And they're not really a character I care about too much, so I'm actually not that worried. Like, it's nice that it turned out to be this person. So yeah, that's literally all I've been playing. I've been enjoying it a lot, and I actually want to finish a game for once, so I'm gonna finish this game. And I need to do it quick before Resident Evil comes out. So, yeah. Kyle, what have you been playing?
Well, as usual, I've been feeding my addiction, and I played some Tetris Ultimate. I don't think I played too much, but I'm pretty sure I played Haunted mode throughout the whole thing, so trying to get that memorization down in that really hard game. I like getting on scoreboards, and I think I actually have a chance with that one. So
nice. So there you go.
I also played some Hatoful Boyfriend, which I also reviewed. So I'm just going to skip that for right this second. And I also started X-Play's Lost Memories, but I didn't get really far enough to say anything about it. So we'll leave that talk for next week. So, short speech, but I played more games than you, so
yeah,
I think I win, right?
I don't know if that's a win. I'm really enjoying my game, so that's good, right? It's unlike the last couple weeks where I was playing the fishing game, and that's it, and I was like...
and you're like, fuck my life!
Yep, that was terrible. So yeah, it feels nice to actually be enjoying a game for once. But anyways... yeah, let's jump into those reviews. I guess... wait, hold on, let me do math in my head. Oh, God. Kyle, you want to do the first one so you can eventually do your Hatoful Boyfriend one?
Sure. Our first review of the week is Lost Dimension, that game that Tyler was just talking about. and it was reviewed by Jimmy, and he gave it a 3.8 out of 5, saying, quote, Lost Dimension has a lot of great ideas, and while not all of them pan out, it's a mostly enjoyable experience from start to finish. Technical issues withstanding, it's one of the Vita's best RPGs. End quote. So, seems like Tyler might agree here, although he hasn't gotten to the end, so I guess he'll have to hold final judgment for now. But I haven't played it, so I guess he's the only one to talk to.
Yeah, well, I pretty much talked a lot about it already, but yeah, I mean, I didn't mention any of the issues with the game, but yeah, the game has crashed on me twice now, and that's more than any game has in a long time, so it's kind of frustrating. So I would just recommend saving the game constantly, because this is one of those games that doesn't save at all unless you decide to save. So you could literally play like 5 hours of the game and then it crashed, and then you're like, well, I lost all that time right there. So just constantly save it. It's really quick saving, so that's the one thing that's nice about it. So yeah, other issues, there is camera issues I've noticed. Like sometimes the camera just has a weird, terrible view, which it doesn't affect your playing. It affects, like, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically when you decide what your move is going to be, your person will go and attack. So sometimes the enemies will choose their moves and all you'll see is a wall, but you'll notice your character is getting damaged. It's like, well, I didn't even see anything that happened, but I kind of get what's going on. So I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's kind of just one of those things where like, how did you not notice this, Atlas? Come on. I mean, it just seems like something you could easily just figure out. But yeah, other than that, I mean, everything's really great about it. So I'm not gonna bash it too much because the story is what really is important to me, and it's got me. Kyle, have you been interested in it? Are we making you interested in it?
Yes, I'm interested in it. I've been interested in it for a while, though. I just haven't really got there yet. Yeah, so that's why.
I gotcha. You're in the wrong dimension right now.
I am in the wrong dimension. The dimension of no money.
That's the worst dimension.
It is the worst dimension, Tyler.
Yeah. Well.
Anywho, moving on. Next review.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. So we've got how do you say this, Kyle? Puyo?
Yeah, it's Puyo.
Puyo Tetris. This is an import review, and it was reviewed by Steven, and he gave it a 4.8 out of 5. And he says, quote, a wonderful combination of two fantastic puzzle games joined into a great package. A release outside of Japan appears highly unlikely. However, this is well worth an import purchase, end quote. And I don't really know anything about this game, and I don't plan on importing it. But Kyle, it has the name Tetris in it, so you're hooked, right?
Well, yes and no. If it was over here, I'd probably already have it. But being that it's an import, and I've had a horrible experience with imports other than my memory card, which was super hassle-free, I probably won't end up getting it. But at the same time, I'm interested because it's Tetris and because everyone who I know who's played it or played the demo really liked it. So, you know, it's got that word of mouth factor, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not super sure how the actual system works, but I know it does switch off. So like you're playing Tetris against Puyo, and then it like switches back and forth or something. I don't know. And they're two completely different types of gameplay, but in the same vein, kind of. I don't know. Huh. It's really weird from what I've seen of it, but it looks interesting and good reviews. So
well, that's always positive, right?
Yes, very, very much so.
Well, all right. Well, Kyle, this is all you. This is your game. Let's hear it.
All right. So Hatoful Boyfriend. That has been my love for the last 2 weeks or so. I gave it a 3.9 out of 5, and this is what I said. In the end, Hatoful Boyfriend is a game full of little things that make you smile or wonder what you'll uncover next. And though it's presented in a weird format, birds, seriously, it still manages to be quite enjoyable if you're open to the idea. The storylines are sometimes emotional, the endings can be quite insane, and you never know what will happen along the way. But isn't that the fun bit that people read novels for in the first place? End quote. So, if you haven't been able to tell, I enjoyed my experience with Hatoful Boyfriend. When I kind of started playing the game, and even through my first playthrough, I was kind of, I don't know, apprehensive, I guess. Not apprehensive because I was like, okay, I'm not going to like this game. I was just like, okay, like, what is this going to throw at me that's going to be enjoyable? And, you know, people have been kind of talking about this one, so I was waiting for something to happen. And then I got killed. So, I was like, what the fuck, first of all? And that was my first kind of hook moment, was getting killed. Just because it was weird and kind of out of nowhere. So I went back in and I got killed again. And in pretty much the same way, even though I chose different things. So definitely a game that you have to watch what you're doing in. But if you kind of pick something that you're aiming for and go for it, you can get there. And most of the endings are pretty good. There's a couple that are kind of anticlimactic. Like, you're like, okay, I know pretty much exactly what's going to happen. And then it gets there and it's just like, yeah, it happened. And then it's over. And then you're like, well, okay, thanks. But most of them are pretty good. Some of them are really funny and unique. And there's one that's completely over the top. Like, it's one of those things where you're playing it and you're like, what the fuck? And you're just laughing because it's just so crazy, but you can't stop playing. So it's got that hook factor once you let it kind of get under your skin a bit. And it made me have emotions more than I thought it would, because of the fact that it's birds, and who the fuck cares about birds? So as somebody who kind of went in it going, well, you know, this is going to be interesting, but I'm not expecting much, I came away from it pleasantly surprised. And I guess I'd recommend it to anybody who kind of is curious about it, because I was, but I was kind of at the same time like, it's a game about birds, but try it.
Well, all right. You got me interested, Kyle.
Good.
But I've got so many games, so hopefully I'll be able to grab it soon. But we'll see. Anyways, let's go to those new releases. And, well, the nest is kind of empty.
What do you mean? What new releases, Tyler?
Yeah, exactly. We got nothing. Diddly squat. But there is this PlayStation Plus August preview thing that's kind of no longer a preview since it's already August and they're already out.
That's right, Tyler.
But you want to read them off, Kyle? What are we getting? What's August?
All right. So this month, the titles are already out by the time that you hear this, so you can just kind of go grab them if they interest you. There's 3 titles this month for Vita. First up, we have Castle Storm, and this is what Brian had to say about it in his review. Quote, addictive and engaging, Castle Storm is a force of nature, though it is disappointing that it didn't make better use of the Vita's inputs, and it may appear to be featherlight upon the surface. Beneath its cute and flawed exterior lies many layers of gameplay to explore. With a meaty campaign and difficult multiplayer, it has more than enough content to warrant your attention. End quote. So, if you like those kind of games, looks like that one's a pretty good one, and it's available for free, so who can argue with that price? Moving on, we've also got Sound Shapes, another one by Brian. Quote, Sound Shapes is a game every Vita owner should have in their library, for the simple reason that it has something for everybody. Whether you look to games for a challenge, art, creation, or community, it's all there in Sound Shapes. A year after its release, that's when Brian did this review, the game has not missed a beat. Truthfully, it has only gotten better. Proof that it is not only music and albums that can be timeless, video games can be too. End quote. So, again, lots of praise there for Sound Shapes. I have it. I still haven't played it.
What?
should play it. Yeah, Tyler, the backlogs. It's one of those things that's like almost right at the top of my backlog, but just keeps getting bumped down when these piles of new games come out at a time.
Oh man, there's so many catchy songs in that game. Like
I know. I've had it for like a year and a half from, I think, either I think it was on Plus before. Or maybe I bought it for like $1 or something. It was like mad cheap.
Yeah, it was on sale.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, oh, hey. Yeah. So anywho, moving on to the last one. It's Still Think 2, A Game of Clones. And that one was reviewed by Charlie, and he says this about it. Stealth Inc. 2, A Game of Clones, is a fantastic follow-up to the brilliant Stealth Inc. A Clone in the Dark. With smart, stealthy puzzle platforming, the nature of this title, you can expect some fun. Sometimes frustrating, but always rewarding gameplay ahead of you if you purchase this game. And you don't need to purchase it because it's free on Plus.
Or if you don't have Plus, then I guess you do.
Well, then purchase Plus and get it.
Yeah, 3 games right there.
Damn bastard. Anywho, so yeah, Castle Storm, Sound Shapes, and Stealth Inc. 2, A Game of Clones. Both regions, both out now. Go get them.
Well, all right. Let's jump into the news. We've got quite a bit here, so let's get right into it. First up, Actual Sunlight is a game about love, depression, and the corporation. Stylized as true game for those over 18 because of the symmetry with real adult life. The game was released to positive reviews back in 2013, and Will O'Neill, the game's developer, has brought it to the Vita. Talking to the North American PlayStation blog, Will said, quote, "I'm not sure if a game as sad, sharp, and real-life serious as the critically acclaimed Actual Sunlight has ever been released on a major console, but I have no doubt that the PlayStation Vita is exactly where it belongs. With strong and memorable writing, a classic Japanese RPG style, and full-screen CG artwork, I'm hopeful that Actual Sunlight will feel right at home." End quote. Set entirely in Canada, and with many real-life places and references aplenty, Will says that the Vita version is the best version of the game, with a tweaked interface allowing for greater clarity on interactions, as well as larger and much smoother text for an optimal reading experience on the go. The game is set to release in North America on August 11th, with no news on a release elsewhere at this time. We will bring you more news and a review as soon as we can. Next up, 5 years in the making, the action platformer Iconoclast has been announced for Vita and PS4. Solo developer Joachim Sandberg, probably pronounced your first name.
Joachim.
Yep, totally wrong. Also known as Konjak, I'm probably saying that wrong too, has taken to the PlayStation blog to announce his upcoming title, Iconoclast, which will be heading to PlayStation Vita. The game follows a young, naive, and helpful mechanic named Robin. Along with her companions, their aim is to escape the soldiers of a religious authority named One Concern. The adventure spans a vast, mysterious world where there are secrets to be found, power-ups to earn, and a variety of different characters who all have their own backstory and unique way of dealing with the situation. Iconoclast will have a strong emphasis on puzzle solving, including puzzling level designs. Using your handy wrench, you are able to screw up the different problems in the game, or simply blast your way out of sticky situations with your modified stun gun. There will also be a whole load of action and bosses to battle. Although we currently have no news of a release date, Sandberg has promised a game that is high on action as well as having a strong narrative. A theme that will run throughout will be humans' ability to care for others in stressful situations when they have no idea how to do it right. Next up, we get some disappointing news, I guess, but you'll see. Drinkbox Studios' next game, Severed, has been delayed. Severed is a touch-based game that is being developed for Vita and was supposed to release for the handheld this summer. Players take control of a girl that awakens to find her family, along with her left arm missing. The game is her quest to get them back. Drinkbox has the following to say about the delay. Quote, "It is days away from hitting alpha. Severed is a really different game from anything we've made before, and we want to take a few additional months playtesting and tuning it so that we can make it the best game it can be. They probably said we also need sufficient time to add more memes and dumb jokes." End quote. "It sucks, but I'm sure they'll pull it together." But delays can always be good because that just means a better game. So we'll just have to sit tight and wait a little longer, guys.
Indeed we will. Moving on. New details from Sega regarding launch plans for the upcoming Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax have narrowed the release window to a single day. Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax is now set to hit North America, South America, and Europe on October 6th, and will be available in a limited launch edition as well as the regular physical and digital editions. The launch edition will include a CD which features music from composers Teruhiku Nakagawa, Naofumi Hataya, Kenichi Tokoi, and Jun Senu, and more. Get it quick though, as it will only be available via retail pre-orders and a limited number of launch copies. Next up, new details have shed light on some of the dark corners left in the big picture that is Exist Archive. We've got details ranging from updated and filled out plot points to systems, tidbits, and other characters, all condensed from their original form to prove minimal overlap with earlier updates. Here's the story so far. 12 special people from the modern world die in an explosion and end up on an alien world called Protolexia, transferred there by its guardian deity, Amatsume. They are each occupied by the spirit of an evil god, and as such have become involved in the god's issues. Some of them want to return to Earth, and some are fine with how things have played out, but all of them are dangerous. Presented as a side-view dungeon RPG with depth, meaning that you can move forward and backward as well as side to side, this 40 to 50 hour game will feature multiple extra dungeons after you finish the game, a boss battle time attack element which is online, and an active chain battle system utilized through the left and right Vita triggers. Oh, and you can also use the power of evil gods within each of the 12 heroes to unleash a powerful attack called Demon's Greed. I'm not sure quite what that means other than the powerful bit, but it sounds badass. We've also heard a bit about the characters, which consist partly of Kanata Kujo. He's the protagonist and was born into a wealthy family that arranged an engagement between him and Ranzei Kamikawa. She's a girl born into a wealthy family, again, who happen to own a dojo. She tries hard to live up to her parents' expectations, but reveals her true nature only on the verge of death. She's supposed to be engaged to Kanata Kujo. Mayuri Tsukishiro. She's a girl with white hair like Kanata and meets him in Protolexia. She apparently also has 4 tails. And Tokihisa Kiriya. He appears to be a delinquent and very blunt, but there's also a side of him that cares for his friends. Development on Exist Archive, The Other Side of the Sky, is approximately 75% complete, and the game is set to release in Japan November 26th, priced at 6,800 yen for Vita. Moving on, and here's a long one. Have you been following the progress of Yoro no Nai Kugani? We certainly have, and so have Jamatsu, and they posted a few new details on the upcoming action RPG ahead of its release later this year. The title sees you battling as Arnath, a holy knight who serves the Curia. Your intention is to protect Lyoritis, the chosen saint of the current era, and her destiny is to sacrifice herself in order to seal away the ruler of the night. Arnath views things differently and sets about defeating the Jeyu and finding her own way of dealing with this demon. The post explains the importance of the End Hotel and how your battles against Jeyu after your battles against Jeyu, you will be able to rest. You will also be able to check up on your subordinate demons and look into their activities and also to organize them. You'll be able to buy and sell items you find or need, as well as place orders for rare items from faraway regions as you progress through the story. It's also where you will take up requests, which can come either night or day. These requests may result in Jeyu encounters, but they also have unusual requests, and completing these missions will earn you rewards like money or even items. The hotel is also where you can access the Yord altar, which is essential to growing Arnath's skills. Arnath can only battle Jeyu at night, so by choosing missions wisely, you can still level up various skills during the day. You can also test out your skills at the arena, which have more options as you progress through the story. The post also discusses a new format that RNF is able to take, the Phantom form, offering long-range attacks as well as HP and SP recovery. The look is very much that of a magician. That's all for now, but Yoro no Naikuni is due out September 17th, so I'm sure we'll be hearing more as we edge closer.
Alright, next up, also known as Kantai Collection Kai, simulation game Kanko Kai has hit yet another delay from Kadokawa Games. Originally slated to be released in Japan sometime in 2014, then bumped to spring 2015, then bumped again from a May release to August, it's safe to say that Kantai Collection Kai has had a rough go getting onto PlayStation Vita. The bad news, it's getting delayed yet again. Moving almost 11 full months away from its original planned release window, Kanko Kai is now due out on November 26th, at least until the next delay. Next up, some new games and a theme have been revealed to be coming to Vita as part of Mediascape's Play Dojin project. Double Focus, a Metroidvania-style title developed by Aquastyle, makers of Tower of Desire. You play as Aya, Shamaya-maru, and Momiji Inubashiri. Yep. As they try to find their way back to Gensokyo after being sucked into the world contained inside a demon book. You'll be able to freely switch between characters with the Vita version of the game, even getting voice acting for the protagonists, among other things. Double Focus is due out sometime in 2015. Touhou Sky Arena Matsuri Climax, an action game for up to 4 players. Ryoki Zero's Touhou Sky Arena uses a unique tension system, whereby your character's stats and abilities change with the music. With music from various artists active in the Touhou project scene, there will be plenty to choose from, especially seeing as how more songs will be added for the PlayStation versions. Touhou Sky Arena Matsuri Climax is set to launch sometime in 2015 on PS4, with the Vita version coming at an unannounced date afterward. Also announced was the third in the 4 seasons of Touhou series of themes, Summer, coming with custom background images illustrated by 11 different artists, custom icons, and some background music by composer Beat Mario. The theme is currently available on the Japanese PlayStation Network for 400 yen. Lots of love here from Play Dojin. Next up, longtime Vita owners will know that Curve Digital love the handheld and have supported the system incredibly well thus far, and that train shows no sign of stopping with the news that they will be bringing Fiddlestick's color-shifting puzzle platformer Hue to the system early next year. The game features you as the titular Hue, who gains access to the color ring after his mother becomes trapped in the mono world. The ring empowers Hue with the ability to alter the perception of color, and so he embarks on a mission to thwart the despicable Dr. Gray. This adventure will not only define Hue as a person, but change the world forever. The game features the ability to shift specific colors, which opens up new puzzle possibilities. Hugh can manipulate the world around him to discover hidden routes, avoid threats, remove obstacles, defeat enemies, and many more possibilities. Funded by Kuju Startups, Hue has been developed by Fiddlesticks, and Henry Hoffman, creative director of the studio, said, quote, Hugh's been attracting a huge amount of attention since we started showing it at indie expos, but we've been particularly impressed with Curve's enthusiasm for the game, end quote. And quote again, partnering with the leading publisher of indie games will enable us to make a real impact at launch and will hopefully ensure that Hue is a worldwide hit when it releases next year, end quote. Curve managing director Jason Perkins told us via a press release, quote, We knew from the moment we laid eyes on it that Hue was a perfect fit for Curve. It's a genuinely innovative game full of challenging platforming and wonderful puzzles, with real style and charm. This is the first of our 2016 games we're announcing, and it's a real statement of intent, end quote. We will bring you more news on Hue as we have it.
Hue. All right, moving on. New details surface regarding time and weather factors, LP characters, both new and previously introduced, notable locations, and battle systems for the upcoming Atelier Sophie. The weather in Atelier Sophie changes over time, and as you play, you'll see different patterns in the daily lives of people depending on the time of day and or weather. Some events only occur at certain times, while weather can affect other things, an example being that either night or stormy weather can bring forth more monsters. It is for this reason that you must pay attention to your environment, as a safe place in normal conditions might not be safe in others. It's also true that the time of day and weather will have an effect on the people you see and gathering material you find. Conditions must be just right to come across someone or something important. If you spend too much time hunting for items and battling, however, Sophie and the others will slowly get tired, losing LP. If your LP goes down enough, it'll lower Sophie and her friend's stats. However, the more you continue your adventure, the better material you can get. As such, it might be worth the risk at times, but it's best that you always keep an eye on your status. Quote, "Oh goodness, your skill as an alchemist has progressed quite a bit, hasn't it, Sophie?" End quote. In the city of Kirchenbell, there's a shop run by a lonely gentleman in his early 50s named Horst. During the day, his shop is run as a cafe, but at night, it's run as a bar. Sophie is able to visit this establishment in order to find work or to listen to rumors and or find leads that might help her on her way. Taking work requests from villagers can range from hunting down monsters to gathering up items, and the reward will often reflect how well or quickly you finish the request. There are also special promotion requests that, when completed, will allow you to take on more difficult requests, so there's more room to grow, for sure. The cafe owner will not only give you requests, however, but it'll also go as far as to tell you about rumors. Rumors can consist of tips along the lines of, "I heard about a mysterious monster," or "You can find lots of material here." And while it costs money to hear rumors, they can lead to finding new places, which may then lead to finding a wealth of new materials. Quote, "When you say old, it merely means something that has been around for a long time, just as the shop has carved itself into time." End quote. Next, we have some more new character information, starting with a previously announced character named Harold Siemens. Harold is in his mid-20s and is employed as a watch craftsman, following the footsteps of his father, who originally owned the watch shop he now works out of. Unlike his father, however, Harold's passion lies in crafting and selling guns. Normally a very cynical character with a blunt personality, Harold has a soft spot for taking care of Sophie, who he's known for a very long time. Quote, "Yes, I'm fine. It seems Miss Sophie is quite eager, so I guess I'll put some effort too." End quote. Last up with regards to character information is a little more on Corneria, who we introduced before. It has been revealed that Corneria's bulk goods store also lies in Kirchenbell, and that her store is open not only as a means to find her father, but also to help her find fame as well. Speaking of characters, let's take a look at how they work in battle. Atelier Sophie introduces the logical turn battle system, which requires you to select the actions for your entire party beforehand, and then watch as they take their turns in real time. Once you've decided on an action for your character, you won't be able to change it until it's completed, so you'll need to think ahead to win and not get caught off guard. The gauge, located on the left side of the screen in-game, indicates the order of the action for the characters and their chosen movement. The order of action is determined by the character's speed and the kind of action they're attempting. When each new character has finished their chosen action, a new turn will start, allowing you to make new selections and start the process over again. During battles, you'll also get to select stances. There are some which are good for offense, and some which are good for defense. These stances come with various effects of their own, such as adding follow-up attacks to other characters, or defending them from hits, and the defense stance in particular will provide your entire group with some form of auto-cover ability. In addition, each character will have their own set of skills that they can use in battle, whether it be for dealing damage to a monster or strengthening other party members. There are a variety of skills out there, but each and every skill will cost MP to use. Aside from skills, characters can also use items, but Sophie is the only one that can use all of the various items. Depending on which characters you're using and the items they're able to use, your item usage may even have an effect on your strategy while in battle. So again, think ahead. With regards to item restrictions, it has been noted that Oscar can use attack items, recovery items, and food items, though Monica has only been revealed to use food items so far. She loves her sweets. That's all for now, but we're sure you'll be hearing more about Atelier Sophie, Alchemist of the Mysterious Book in the near future, especially seeing as how we're just under 2 months from the Japanese release date of September 25th. Next up, Senran Kagura 2 Deep Crimson will apparently be sending Estival Versus to Vich Shinobi later this year. In addition to earlier looks at Senran Kagura Estival Versus Japanese DLC lineup, we've now heard from Marvelous via Famitsu and Jamatsu that 2 Deep Crimson's girls will be making the jump as well. First up we have Kagura, the destroyer of all demons, and second up we have Naraku, the girl who protects the Pearl of Reincarnation. No further information on these two have been released yet, however we can tell you that both of these lovely ladies will be joining Estival Versus sometime this fall in Japan. And next up, Kara Annie, Pyramid, and Kadokawa Games are bringing an enhanced port of Another Chronicle EX to Japan later this year. Releasing as both a digital download and a physical copy on PlayStation Vita, this enhanced port of shoot-'em-up arcade title Darius Burst Another Chronicle EX is set to include new modes to play, bosses to battle, and background music to blast away to. The sad news, the Vita version will only support single player, while the PS4 version gets 4-player multiplayer. Sad face. Darius Burst Chronicle Saviors is due out this winter in Japan, so keep your eyes peeled for more on the game between now and then.
Alright, next up, we've got a ton of new Tokyo Xanadu information, covering characters, bonus systems, upgrades, skills, and more. First up, we have a bit more information on Fragments of Fate, or Kizuno episodes. Fragments of Fate are items which you obtain through playing the game's story and exploring the city. They enable you to see character-specific Kizuno episodes, which can increase your soul level, main character, or award rare items or bonuses supporting character. Some examples of these unlockable Kizuno episodes scenarios are as follows. Asuka Hiraji. Asuka is surprised by Ko's thoughtless actions as through her classmate Shirori, she has found out something about Ko. Shio Takahata. Shio steps in during a fight among delinquents and confides in Ko about it. Tawa Kokono, Ko's homeroom teacher and cousin. Tawa also works as a shrine maiden at the Kokono shrine on weekends. When Ko goes to visit her, however, how she's going to react might surprise you. Moving on, we take a look at some new characters that have been revealed and detailed. The one in white, he is an unknown engraved knight which is part of a Church of Holy Spirit army called the Kronos Orden. This army fights against the Nemesis and Zodiac groups, making them one part of the 3 major forces. Their main goal is to deal away the other world, however, which is unlike the main goal of the other 2 groups. E.G. Koda, or E.G. Takemoto, a big man with a threatening appearance that overwhelms those around him. He serves as the Wakagashira of the Morimiya city-based Takeban gang. Despite his appearance, he is a chivalrous Yakuza who doesn't allow himself to stray from the gang's code of, is that supposed to be honor? Because it says Homar. To protect humanity and deliver justice. Members of the gang admire him and refer to him as Aniki, which means older brother, or in this case, more senior Yakuza member. The Takaban gang sets up office in the Cho neighborhood, where delinquents are frequently causing incidents. The protagonist Ko included, the members of the gang seem vigilant. Akahiro Nui, or Shinzuki Kane, second-generation leader of the delinquent group Blaze. Akahiro elected himself the new head of the group after Shiro retired as the leader, gathering from the scraps of the group a new group with restarted delinquent activity. By absorbing a small team in the Morimiya City area and expanding its power, the Blaze, led by the ever-suspicious Akihiro, appears to be becoming more and more of a problem. Lastly, we are going to look at soul devices, specifically their master core and the skill upgrades they can achieve. Each character has their own unique soul device, which can be enhanced in a few ways. One of these ways is through progressing the story and unlocking the ability to switch out your master core, which houses said skill. Switching is mainly done while in the real world, but can also be done in the other world through the use of stone monuments called relics. In addition to changing the base skill attribute of each character when switching master cores, the look of your soul device will also change depending on the attribute. One thing to keep in mind, however, while Ko can change to any base attribute master core, the other characters are limited in what they can switch to. Speaking of base skills, attributes, weapons in the other world, killing enemies with their elemental weakness will activate an elemental kill. And killing an enemy with a high amount of damage makes for a fatal kill. Both of these types of kills will add drop rate bonuses for achievement, but the elemental kill somehow increases the value of exploring the other world as well. Ko, when you change from the basic flame attribute to the shadow attribute, Ko's soul device becomes jet black and appears more intricate and complete. When Ko uses skills, the flames turn purple. Rion, when you change from the basic wind attribute to the spirit attribute, Rion's wing soul device will take a more intricate form. When Rion uses her strength skills, she can create blue tornadoes. How about upgrading your skills? By strengthening your soul device, you can also upgrade your character's shooting, strength, and flight skills, with up to 3 levels of upgrade offered. By upgrading skills and raising them to certain levels, there are even cases where the appearance and performance of the weapon will be greatly enhanced, so don't be afraid to experiment. Asuka, at a certain skill level, the attack Crystal Sword will greatly increase in attack power and range. Yuki, at a certain skill level, the energy bullets from his shooting skill Lambada shot will increase in both size and basic attack power. That's all
Lambada.
for now.
Lambda. That was good though. I like that.
Well,
Lambada.
That B looked like an A for some reason. So, did you deal with it, Kyle? Anyways, that's all for now. Though we're sure with how much information they're throwing at us that it won't be long. Tokyo Xanadu is set to release September 30th in Japan. That one was a long one, and we got another long one. So, Bandai Namco has, via Famitsu, revealed new information and screenshots for its upcoming title, World Trigger Borderless Mission. In Borderless Mission, you'll take on all sorts of tasks, and some you'll need to cooperate well with others, while others will have you take someone on head-to-head. There are also times, however, when you'll need to do this in teams. Teamwork is a key to taking down huge foes such as a giant Trion soldiers, and knowing how to work properly with the different roles. Snipers, riflemen, and archers is part of that. Player positioning during an attack is another. As mentioned, cooperation isn't the only situation you'll be put in, however, as there is also team battles. These 4-on-4 style fights let you mix and match characters to make your own team of badasses, so choose carefully. Speaking of choosing carefully, this applies to when you're customizing your trigger as well. Through customization, you can, for example, make someone like Asuma into a sniper or Yuma into a shooter, so pay attention and choose carefully. Each class has their own set of equipable triggers specific to them and certain things in which they specialize, and the characters have their preferences when it comes to triggers as well. Choosing the best trigger for the job isn't just a choice, it's both an art and a science in some aspects as well. As for rewards, you'll get a currency called border coins for clearing missions. These can be used to purchase triggers, so collect as many as you can by taking on every mission you can handle. World Trigger Borderless Mission is set to release in Japan on September 17th. Ever wanted to play as a spider that bit Peter Parker? Well, you still can't do that. But in Spider Right of the Shrouded Moon, you can still play as a spider. As this spider, you can jump, walk on walls, make threads with your gross silk, and many other spider things. In fact, you can even catch insects with your webs. Right of the Shrouded Moon is very realistic. And speaking of realism, it'll be taken to the next level. If you're in a bus or a car playing your Vita and it starts raining, expect the same to happen in-game. Same goes for day and night time, which is essential to exploring the abandoned estate covered with puzzles and mystery. During the night, certain insects will appear, like moths, it says months, but I'm assuming it's meaning moths. Like moths circling lights, mosquitoes will even come out when it rains, and a hornet's nest may appear during a sunny day. The weather will even dictate whether or not a puzzle is solvable, like being able to walk up a water spout or not. Spider Right of the Shrouded Moon is packed with 30 levels, leaderboards, and much, much more, and is supposedly coming soon to a Vita near you.
And it sounds really interesting.
It does.
Alright, moving on. Koei Tecmo has delayed their upcoming Samurai Warriors 4 Empires title from its planned September 3rd release date. Yes, that's right, Samurai Warriors 4 Empires has been delayed, but not for too long at all. This historic Musou title with a new strategic twist will now release 2 weeks later than its originally planned date, hitting the ground in Japan on September 17th. The reason for the delay? To up the quality. Sounds like a reasonable trade-off to me, but then again, we won't know for sure till we see the fruits of their labor in action. Next up, 2 more visual novels are being added to the Japanese Vita roster this year, thanks to GN Software. Famous for bringing visual novels to the PSP, GN Software is hooked up with Whirlpool and Hooksoft to bring their titles Ryuyoku no Melodia and Melty Moment to the PlayStation Vita. Here are the plot descriptions for the 2 titles, courtesy of the Visual Novel Database. Ryuyoku no Melodia. Over 1,000 years ago, there was a large battle against an evil dragon. With the help of a holy dragon, they managed to defeat it and then founded the kingdom of Vestoria. The princess's song has the power to grant miracles, and as such, people who engage in music are highly respected in the country. Lute is a student at the prestigious Ertmail Music Academy, where young people gather to pursue their dreams of becoming a musician. One day, he met a mysterious girl in the street and ended up spending the day with her. Before leaving, she said they would meet again. He was about to have dinner with his Emoto, which is sister Mel, when he heard a loud noise outside. There was a giant hole in the garden, and in the middle of it was a small dragon. That's all they have. Moving on, Melty Moment. Takeru lives in a commuter town a few stations away from the busy city. There are not many tall buildings except for those around the station and the new apartments lining the river. One could easily tell the time of day just by the placement of the sun, which shines unblocked upon the town. Late in September, Takeru was walking along the embankment with his friends. It was a normal day just like any other day. However, just because of one little thing, his path home became a path to love. These little events are scattered amongst our normal daily lives. That moment when our eyes meet, that moment when we touch each other's hands, when reaching out for the same book, that moment when you first smiled at me. These moments color our canvas of love. And that's all I have on that one. These titles will have new scenarios and CG added to the PlayStation Vita version of the game, so there will be something there even for returning players. As for price, we're hearing that Melty Moment will be 1,600 yen for the regular version and 8,800 yen for the limited edition, though we've had no word about Ryuyoku no Melodia's pricing. Both games are due out in Japan sometime in 2015. Moving on. Marvelous has announced new gameplay details and release information for their upcoming action title, Valkyrie Drive Bikuni. First up, we have the Cafeteria, your base of operations. This is where you can mingle with other characters, witness events to raise your affection levels, and access the communications room. In the communications room area, you can change your hair, customize your clothing, pick out some underwear, and adorn yourself in accessories to find your favorites. But you can also use the room to up the affection level of each girl by touching them while swapping out their costumes, you dirty bastard you. Depending on how well you do and how many experience points you get in return, your Oppai rank, aka breast rank, will then increase, granting you rewards like a new title or tickets for use in minigames. That's all we got with regards to gameplay details, but let's take a look at some release details instead, shall we? Valkyrie Drive Bikuni is set to release in Japan on September. December 10th, priced at 6,980 yen for the standard version. A limited edition New DX pack will be available for 8,480 yen and will include a limited edition illustrated box by Warai Menakako, a visual book featuring both character designs and illustrations, an original soundtrack CD, a special drama CD, and a Valkyrie Drive limited edition original packaging. Those who pick up Valkyrie Drive Bikini early, either in standard or limited edition, will get Mermaid, Bikini, and Siren swimming suit costumes for free, each based on an artificial island of the same name featured in the game. That's all for now, but I have to ask, have I gotten your blood pumping yet?
Dum dum, dum dum.
Tyler's over there like, must have game. Boobs now.
Oh, yeah. Alright, next up. We're almost done. We're getting close. Criminal Girls Invite Only released in the West earlier this year, and the sequel, Criminal Girls 2, which was announced earlier last month thanks to a leak on Amazon Japan, will be releasing later this year, but we now have some story details and some screenshots to share for the title. The story is set around a group of semi-sinners, a group of people who were set to commit a crime in the future but died at a young age. Semi-sinners are given a chance of rebirth by going through a program known as Resurrection. A hero is set to guide 7 female semi-sinners up a tower filled with challenges filled with trials. In Criminal Girls 2, the hero only expects to guide 6 semi-sinners through the tower, but when he discovers the 7 girls, who all come with their unique personalities, his suspicions soon arise that one of them is actually a real sinner. Ooh. The 7 semi-sinners are Shinoa, an honors student who is closely following the main protagonist, Riri, a dismissive girl who can be impulsive, Koro, a socially awkward girl who relies on ventriloquism to make conversation, Masuki, a mood setter who can also be rather clumsy, Sui is a sharp-tongued girl who likes to analyze situations and can often cause arguments with her ways of speaking to others. Yurine is a quiet and soothing girl who is optimistic and likes to approach things at her own pace. And lastly, Tsukasa, who is a fan of sexual harassment and likes to bother the main protagonist. Quite an odd bunch, if you ask me. Yeah. The main aim of the game is to help the semi-sinners find resurrection, but they will often need to be punished to make sure they are behaving themselves. This can lead the player having to massage them or even spanking them. Sounds good so far, right? Early purchasers of the game can receive the first print limited edition of the game for 7,980 yen, which comes equipped with an art book, a special made box designed by the game's lead artist, the original soundtrack, and a reversible eye mask which has a print of Shino's bottom. Oh, jeez. A whole host of screenshots have also been released alongside this information, which you can check out on the site. But most important of all is the release date, which is confirmed to be November 26th, with the standard version of the game being priced at 5,980 yen and comes with a limited edition punishment mode variation.
And hold on one sec, Tyler needs to go order this.
Yeah. So the concept of like there being like an actual sinner there kind of got me like, ooh, I was like, huh. It's making me think of Lost Dimensions with this trader deal I'm dealing with right now. But then it just got so weird. I don't think I could do it.
Them bitches.
I just don't. It's anyways. So there you go. So if your blood wasn't pumping, it is now. Next up, here we go. Utawara Rumono False Mask is set for release late in September on PlayStation Vita in Japan, and developer Aquaplus have revealed a rather hefty-looking premium edition of the game. Those lucky enough to grab a copy of the premium edition, which is priced at 9,800 yen, will also receive an art book, a mini soundtrack CD, as well as the following DLC. Tamaki Kasaka Samurai version, also confirmed for the first print of the standard edition. Sasara Kuzakawa Samurai version, also confirmed for the first print of the standard edition. Tamaki Kasaka swimsuit version and Sasara Kazakawa swimsuit version. Also included is a randomly selected gift depending on the retailer that Japanese fans decide to buy the game from. These include mouse mats, A4 paper sets, and smartphone stands, as well as various other options. Next up, in the latest news for the upcoming Yoro no Naikuni, Land of No Night, we learn about one of Arnoth's new forms and also meet a few of the servants that will be helping her out throughout the game. Arnoth's armor form is distinguishable as she has a giant left arm. The power that can be produced from this arm can cause almost all of Arnoth's enemies to fly away, so it's probably not a good idea to go for a friendly handshake or high five while she's in this form. Although you may think that the armor form is all about power, the reality is that this form is well balanced in both attacks and defense. It has a crack blow ability that can knock out enemies, and this form also increases Arnoth's defense. The armor form's special attack is also a good way of getting rid of the enemies that surround Arnoth, unleashing a powerful blow that will give enemies a hit from her left arm. In addition to the armor form, we get a look at some of the servants that will be available in-game. Carrier Cat, Tricky type, a support type servant that can open nearby treasure even during combat. It also has the ability to increase the movement speed of the other nearby servants. Bronze Fang, attacker type. Bronze Fang is blessed with high abilities and power, and it has the ability to lower the enemy's attack. While it may be a confident and powerful servant, it occasionally shows a bit of a playful side by pretending to be a statue. Steel Hades, attacker type. This servant specializes in power attacks. It has a repertoire of close, mid, and long range attacks, making it one of the best offensive severance to have around. Finally, we get a look at a first-generation saint who once sealed away the Lord of Night after her death. Her purpose was handed over to the church. Each time the seal of the Lord of the Night weakens, a new saint is elected. This saint shows up in front of Arnoth looking alive as ever, with her purpose in the game still remaining a mystery. Set to release for the PlayStation Vita in Japan on September 17th. Be sure to keep an eye on TVL for more info about Yoro no Naikuni as and when we have it.
Alright guys, home stretch time. Leap Game Studios have been in touch to let us know that their fast-paced puzzle game, Squares, is scheduled to release in Europe next week on Tuesday, August 11th. For the uninitiated, Squares is a reflex game where you're tasked with turning all blue squares gray while supporting any red squares. You do this using the PlayStation Vita's touchscreen and have to race to beat the clock if you want to get to the next level. Although this sounds simple in premise, Squares is anything but. Charlie played some of the game and found Squares to be challenging, tough, and addictive. I'd have to agree. The game will be available at a cost of €4.99, approximately £3.99 for those in the UK. Zach reviewed Squares for the site when it released in North America a few weeks back and said that Squares is a fun, challenging game that is worthy of your time, so it might be worth looking into if you're looking for a challenge and have a few bucks. Next up, the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation TV are getting the subscription model for PlayStation Now, according to a blog post on the PlayStation blog. Even though PlayStation Now has been available on Vita since October, we didn't know if it would ever make its way to PlayStation TV. Now, though, both platforms can fully utilize the service and its subscription-based model. PS Vita and PS TV users can claim a free trial for 7 days from the PlayStation website. Afterwards, the subscription will cost you a monthly fee of $19.99. PlayStation Now allows subscribers to play over 125 titles on their platform of choice. This announcement also came with 5 new titles coming to the service: God of War 3, Dynasty Warriors 8, MX vs. ATV Supercross, Bomberman Ultra, and The Last Guy. And the last bit of news. 5PB's My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu 2 is coming to Vita, according to this week's issue of Famitsu. The sequel to a game based on the original My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu will have a brand new feature that allows you to read the mental state of other characters in order to find out their true motives. There will also be other new elements that will be detailed farther when something other than a preview for the magazine becomes available. Release date information likely to follow as well, so stay tuned. And that's the news, Tyler.
Finally. That was long.
Yeah, there's a lot of it this week, and there were some long ones in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'd been avoided until the end of the month, and then I poked people and did a couple myself. So yeah, some long ones in there. But yeah, it's over. But as usual, what announced release games are you looking forward to from the week, Tyler?
Well, I really want Severed. Sucks that it's delayed, but also it's good because I want a good game, and if delaying it's going to make it better, then I'm all for that. But I'm excited for Severed, so can't wait for that to be finally ready to come out. Along with that, of course, Senran Kagura Estival Versus. I'm ready for that, even though I still haven't finished the first one. I'm gonna get to it, don't worry. And then what's that other one? Tokyo Xanadu. God, I hope that comes west. That one. It looks so awesome, and they're announcing, or not announcing, but I guess it's announcing. They're showing so much about the game that it just is like, yes, I want it, I get it, yes, please, but nothing yet, so fingers crossed. Also, that spider game sounds really interesting, so I'll keep my eye out on that one, and who knows, maybe I'll pick it up when it launches. What else do we got here? I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but of course all the other games that we talk about, like Digimon, you've got the Sword Art Online. Even though I've already played it, I'm probably going to pick up the Western version just because I want to be able to have DLC and everything, so I'm excited for that, to get the DLC. And then, yeah, there's so much. Kyle, what about you?
Well, from what was mentioned there's a couple things that have definitely caught my eye. Severed, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and it kind of sucks that it's been delayed, but as you said, you want a game that's complete and runs well, so I'm willing to wait. Dengeki Bunko Flighting Climax, I'm interested in that one as well. Yeah, anime characters kicking each other's asses, I'm down for that. Exist Archive, I'm I don't know. It seems like it's a really weird concept, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting, so I've kind of got my eye on that one. Euro Nunai Kuni, or Land of No Night, depending on what language you're getting that one in. Interested in that one, but at the same time, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of media, and it's like I don't really get what the story is going to be like, so I hope it's something good and not just, here's a whole bunch of fights, yay. What else? What else do we have here? Okay. Tokyo Xanadu, we've talked about that one. I would love if that comes over. Valkyrie Dread Bakuni, there's another one that I would love if it comes over. Yeah, that's pretty much it from what we've looked at this week. But you kind of touched on this, and I was talking to you a little bit about this earlier. Just games that we're kind of looking forward to from this year. So did you kind of get any other ones in your head there, Tyler?
Well, I kind of mentioned a couple of them. Digimon, man, we talked about that
next year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn it! I thought that was this year. Well, you're breaking my heart, Kyle. All right. Well, anyways, I'll just go into my next one, and it's very, very, very soon, and that would be Resident Evil, because I love Resident Evil, and I've always wanted it on the go, and this one I'm hoping it runs decent. Because, yeah, I'm ready to kill some zombies in a game that actually is known for killing zombies in. See, Kyle, you just threw me off. I had this whole thing about Digimon, and then it just went out.
No Digimon for you, Tally.
Went out the window. Went right out there. Okay. I always mess it up. Is it Trials or Trails? Trials?
It's Trails.
Trails, yeah. Trails of Cold Steel. Man, this is one of those games, I think when it came out in Japan, it was like one of those really early Japanese releases. Like, wasn't this like in 2012 when it came out? I don't know.
I don't know if it was that early, but it was pretty early one. It was an early one.
All I know is that I remember watching a YouTuber play the game, and I was like, yeah, this has to come to the West. It looks so awesome. And it's been forever, and now it's finally, making its way here. So yes, I'm ready for that as well. Persona 4 Dancing All Night, I am ready for a rhythm game. I haven't played one in a while that's on a handheld that I actually enjoyed. I tried the Hatsune Miku demo, and I was like, this is alright. I could see me playing it more, but I just didn't want to spend $30 on it, so yeah. Also, Steins Gate. I got that itch for like a really good story, and right now Lost Dimension is not, it's not amazing story, it's just good. So I'm ready just for an amazing story, and according to everyone that's played it, Steins Gate's the one to play, so I am ready for that. Also, Danganronpa, another episode. It's just a totally different game from Danganronpa, but I'm so ready for it because I love Danganronpa, and I love third-person shooters, so why not put them together, right? So, yeah, I'll play that one. And also, don't mention it enough, but Corpse Party Blood Drive, I'm ready for that. I have never played them. I've just looked at them and been like, you know what, I'd probably enjoy that, but they've never really been on the Vita because I think they're only on PSP, but now we're getting a Vita one, so I'm going to be all over that like a something that's all over something.
Alrighty then.
What about you, Kyle? Did I steal all of yours?
Not all of mine, but you got quite a few of mine. Okay, here's the games in order from now to the end of the year. Starting off, we got X-Blade Lost Memories, which, even though I'm saying I'm looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to playing it because I now have it. So, that's my first one, though. Next up, Resident Evil Revelations 2, which comes out on the 18th. You talked about that one. Steins Gate, which comes out on the 25th. Again, you talked about that one, visual novel. But at the same time, I'm kind of looking at Amnesia Memories just because it kind of seemed interesting, and the whole Hatoful Boyfriend thing went off better than I thought it would. So yeah, looking at that. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. I still haven't played the other One Piece game on Vita, but it's on my radar. Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls, which comes out 1st of September, I think, here. So that one's, hugely on my list. I'll probably be reviewing that one as well, so looking forward to that. Corpse Party Blood Drive. I've said this before, I'm interested, but I haven't played the ones before it, and so I'm kind of, I don't know. But I'm looking at it. I'll probably end up playing it anyway. The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. I haven't played any of these games. I haven't really even looked about much of these games, but everyone's hyped for it, so I'm kind of hyped for it too. It's caught on a little bit, so I'm looking forward to that this fall. Sword Art Online's coming out this fall here, Lost Songs, so looking forward to that. Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax was just announced for October, I think, 6th. Looking super forward to that, as well as Senrankyur Estival Versus, as you mentioned. I have completed the first one, though, so yeah, gimme. We've also got Hatoful Boyfriend Holiday Star. I'm not sure whether this one is actually coming over here this winter, or if it's just Japan this winter. I don't know. It's got my eye, though. And Hyper Light Drifter. It's supposed to come out sometime this year, but I don't think they've said, or they moved the date or something. I don't know. I can't really think when the day is for that one, but I know I want it, so there you go. Yeah, so lots of games. Like there's like 15 there or something.
Yeah, there's too many games, Kyle.
And that's just to the end of the year, Tyler.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And that's just what we know about Tyler.
Stop reminding me. Well, let us know what yours are, people. Send us emails. What are you excited for this year? Send that to mediaservices@thevitalounge.net. Let us know. And let's go to that listener mail, Kyle.
All right, well, we've only got 2 listener mail here. And they're both from Non-Skippo. And they're both kind of not Vita questions, but still relevant.
All right.
So, first one. What are your thoughts on this article? And then he links to a gamingconviction.com article that reports that Konami employee morale is low. So basically, Nikkei, a giant media corporation in Japan, has reported that there's a whole bunch of trouble surrounding Konami with allegations involving their employees and the work environment. Here's pretty much the breakdown of the report. It's pretty horrible sounding. Kojima Productions is now simply known as Number 8 Production Department, and the computers of their section are allegedly not even connected to the internet and only are able to send internal messages. What the fuck? Employees that leave the company during their lunch break have their absences monitored with time cards. Those who stay out for too long are having their names announced throughout the company. Oh my god. There are cameras in the office corridors that aren't for security, but to monitor their employees throughout the company. Most of Konami's employees don't have their own company email addresses, except for the PR that deal with people outside the company. The other employees have email addresses that get routinely randomized and changed every few months. Konami game developers that aren't seen as useful are reassigned to jobs as security guards, cleaning staff at the company's fitness clubs, or roles at Pachi Slot Machine Factory. In 2013, Asahi News reported that a former Konami staff member who allegedly went from development to working at a Konami Pachi Slot Factory, which caused him to experience severe depression. The said employee announced on Facebook they were leaving Konami and got a new job elsewhere. Konami then monitored the Facebook post, and the remaining staff who liked the post were all reshuffled from within the company, says Nikkei. Holy shit, that sounds like pretty much Konami's like big brother now, and they want to like know everything that's going on and control the shit that goes on with their employees' lives.
Yeah, that does not sound like a fun work environment. I would see why they would all have low morale. That just is not fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Kojima was smart to get the fuck away from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game company. You'd expect it to be fun, not
or at
prison.
least not, not Nazi tactics or whatever the hell that they're doing here. That's ridiculous.
I mean, is this like all true? I mean, this isn't just someone like posting stuff to get clicks, is it?
I have no idea to the validity of the report, but that seems like quite a lot of shit to be, oh, we're just throwing it out here, you know what I mean? It's
right.
Seems like a lot of different counters like brought together into one article kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it is all true, then I would never want to work there.
Yeah, I really don't want to buy their games now.
I've never been interested in any of them, really, so I'm fine. But yeah, don't go work at Konami there, people, or Kojima Productions, people.
Well, it's not Kojima Productions anymore. It's Number 8
number
Production
8.
Department. And you got no internet.
Yeah, well, all right. That's an interesting piece of news there, Nonskipo. Thanks for the depression of all the people that are working there. Let's head on to the next one. Right, Kyle? No?
Yeah, you can read this one, though, Tyler.
Okay. I was going to read the next one anyways. Don't worry about it. He says, thoughts on this recall? And he lists another post from GameWires.com. And he says, and have you ever heard of a handheld bursting in flames out over a battery? So this one is, I believe, a link to the NVIDIA Shield where they're recalling them because of problems with overheating and stuff like that, posing a fire hazard. Kyle, what's this all about?
All right, so this is a voluntary recall for the NVIDIA Shield tablet. It's like the 8-inch tablets, I think, and it's like the last year of sales. And they've apparently determined that the battery in these tablets can overheat, posing a fire hazard. They give a whole bunch of details on, finding out about if your Shield tablet is affected and blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line of it is that, faulty hardware.
Yeah.
I think with that kind of thing, you can't necessarily kind of predict what's going to happen. Like, I mean, there's always going to be little things that go wrong in production for systems, and that's why a lot of them get revisions, and that's why, you know, there is a Vita 2000 and different things.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, like, I mean, as far as hearing of other, you know, devices or whatever that are handhelds, the battery bursting into flames, I've heard of it happening, usually with phones, not handheld gaming devices. But I did hear of somebody who plugged in their Vita proprietary cord, the one on the Vita 1000, upside down, and their port or whatever, and the plug and everything melted right together. So, yeah. What about you, Tyler? What do you think about this shit?
yeah, I mean, you pretty much mentioned it all. It's just, it happens, faulty production, and it just kind of makes you wonder, like, how they don't get more of these things tested and figured out before it's too late. But I'm sure there's a lot of stuff they have to go through that we're not aware of, that sometimes some things can just slip right on through. But yeah, I've heard the thing with the Vita, the plug being plugged in the wrong way and it doing that, but you mean that's human error, not technology error. So yeah, and I've heard the thing about phones starting fires, but that's phones. I haven't actually heard of like a 3DS or a Vita just randomly like, hey, you're using me too much, I'm gonna catch on fire. So here we go. But yeah, I guess that's a good thing for us, right?
Of course, if my Vita burned up, I'd have to, like, murder people.
That'd be terrible. Well, all right.
You first, Tyler. Because you have multiples.
I do, but I only have one capture Vita.
Yeah, but you have multiple Vitas. I can murder you, and then I'll have, like, backups.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks, Non-Skippo, for your question, comment, thingy, thoughts about those. We would do Guess That Game, but Liam's not here. He's busy, like usual. So we're going to go to check this out. And it's going to me. So I don't really have a game. I have just basically, there's a ton of stuff on sale right now, especially if you have PlayStation Plus. I would head to the store, go to PlayStation Plus, and just spend money. You got Danganronpa 1 and 2 both on sale for $16 with Plus. I mean, there's just so many good games. You got Duke Nukem 3D for $4. That is a fun game. Kyle and I played a little bit of it, and we need to play more.
We need to play so much more multiplayer, Tyler. We've been slacking lately.
Yeah, we have. I've been way too busy, and it's very frustrating. I just want to have like some time to just chill and play some games with you. Soon. October's coming around. We'll have to do that Extra Life thing. We'll be doing that all day.
Definitely.
So that'll be a nice time to catch up on some stuff. But in the meantime, yeah. Anyways, there's a ton of sales. Go check it out. You could be spending a lot of money. There's some great games on there. So yeah, that's my check it out. So threads to look for, Kyle. What do we got here in the threads? I see you've posted something here.
Yes, it's actually a thread I've posted.
Oh.
And it's called Places You've Seen Vita with Images. So basically, it's a thread for if you've seen PlayStation Vita shown somewhere in real life or TV, movies, anime, whatever. You can share it with us, snap a picture, either off screen or on if you can, obviously, and just kind of post it in that thread and get people interested in Vita and show them that Vita's out there. I started off with a couple of shots from the anime Charlotte. There's some nerds and this girl playing what looks to be some sort of Freedom Wars Soul Sacrifice crossover game. It's pretty cool that they were playing that, and I was surprised. Also, there's another recent one from The Strain, which is a FX show, and the kid is playing Vita, and they actually show like a mad close-up of the Vita, so I was surprised by that.
Interesting.
Other people have posted things like House of Cards, The Devil is a Part-Timer anime, I posted another one from a while ago from Supernatural, the TV show. So there's quite a few places that the Vita shows up, and if you've kind of seen it anywhere or see it anywhere in real life, throw some stuff up in there, and maybe we can show people that Vita is around, and it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I just checked it out. There's some interesting cameos by that there Vita. So yeah, head on to the thread and join in that if you have seen it around. Well, I think that's all we got, Kyle. Time to get out of here.
Sounds like it, Tyler.
We've been recording a longer episode than lately, so yeah, let's jump out of here. If you've got listener mail or comments, contact us via mediaservices@thevitalounge.net. You can find everything we talked about at thevitalounge.net, the news, reviews, featured articles, store updates, podcast, and a community forum and magazine, both digital and physical. You can support the site and get physical copies of the magazine via patreon.com/thevitalounge. We're on Twitter, just look up @thevitalounge. I'm at Mr. PSVITA Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. We're on Facebook, just search the Vita Lounge. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. We post up lounge plays. We post up I just blanked on the name. Previews, there we go. Previews for the month's releases coming up. We just posted August, so if you want to see what's coming up later in the month, go ahead and watch that video. We also post up the podcast on there, so yeah, lots of stuff happening. Go subscribe to that. This podcast is available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube, and via direct download on the site. So go subscribe to us there, rate us, and let us know how we're doing. And that is the Vita Cast, episode 87. Let's get out of here, Kyle, for real.
Oh yeah, and before we go, Attack on Titan's coming to Vita. Bam!
Whoa!